Hey everyone, welcome to another entry in the Hyrule Compendium. We're continuing our Link's Awakening remake discussion. We're talking about, is this the game that we were hoping for?
Our initial reactions, we both loved it.
Yeah.
I love the graphics, I love the style.
I'm loving it, yeah.
It's awesome. But I started, when I looked back at the trailer a few times,
Okay.
I started noticing a few things in there specifically. Like, I'm looking at the map in the very few sections that they showed, and I lined it up with the sprite map. And you could see, oh, there's little flowers here, 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 and then you look at the new one, and they're in the exact same locations. And then you look at, there's like 3 rooms in the dungeons, and it's the same enemies in the same locations. Everything is the same.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, this looks, I don't know if it's like a shot-for-shot remake, but it looks like it's purely Link's Awakening.
You're thinking it might potentially be that, nothing new.
Right.
Except for this radically different art style and obviously the gameplay a little bit better.
Yeah, like I get the sense like the opening cutscene and most of the dialogue is going to be identical. I think the map is going to be virtually 100% identical with few, like, I don't know, I guess, like, you know, quality of life improvements. I've seen some of those too. There's like a ledge on Candlelight Castle where you can jump down so you don't have to backtrack. My initial thought is this game graphically so departs from the original that it makes me wonder, like, I love what they did with A Link Between Worlds. It drew what I loved about A Link to the Past, but it was a new experience. I feel like is this, like, I think I would have rather had that. Like, I love the art style, I love everything about it, I love that they're familiar characters, but I feel it's going to be the same game. Like, am I going to beat this game in 3 hours?
Right.
And am I ever going to want to play Link's Awakening on the Game Boy Color ever again?
Okay. But, okay, well, I guess my initial response to that is that an issue, really?
You know, I think because it's been so long, to me it is an issue. Like, when Wind Waker came out, Wind Waker HD, I didn't feel like that was just a remake of the GameCube one. They obviously did some improvements. But this just, I guess, graphically, like, with Wind Waker, I never felt like, oh, but the poor GameCube version, I'm never going to play it again, because it's, who cares? It's the same game. This is just this is the definitive version, really. With this, because it's been almost 30 years between these, 25 years, I don't know, I think I'd rather have like a Link's Awakening 2 than a Link's Awakening.
Yeah. Okay, but there's 2 different distinctions you're making there a little bit too, because you're talking about A Link Between Worlds, which is its own thing, and great. Then Wind Waker HD,
right,
which is a totally different thing.
Right.
So I'm confused.
So
you want it to be like one of the other, but instead it's kind of an in-between.
Yeah, I kind of would rather it be either, but it's in between.
Yeah.
Because it's so radically different, but it's the same game. If that makes, graphically, it's radically different, I think. Like, what I'm saying is, like, if they made A Link Between Worlds in that same art style, except it was identical to A Link to the Past. If that game was just A Link to the Past,
you would like it less?
I would like it less, because I would feel like this is the greatest game of all time, and why are they redoing this? Why are they revisiting this?
It's not like it was unplayable before.
Right.
Yeah.
And Link's Awakening is not my favorite game of all time by any means, but it's still one of my favorite games. And I have a lot of nostalgia for that, and I love that we're revisiting it. But part of me would be like, it'd be cool if it was a new experience in the same world, though. I
sort of get what you're saying, but I also just feel like, yeah, this is unique. Like, they've never. I guess we should also say if this is actually what they're doing, if it is 1-to-1, because maybe this is all a conspiracy that you are pulling here on everyone. But just because this is kind of unprecedented for them, it's not bad to me. Like, I would rather them put the effort into coming up with a new, unique art style for, like, a new game. But it doesn't really mess with the old game to me, you know? Like, the old game is still there. Even if that is all that is different, it's gonna probably control better.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have...
It looks like you have 8-way controls.
Yeah, 8-way controls. It'll probably have better... like more buttons to use, probably better maps. I know you like that, you know. So there it's all these like little things that you don't really think about, but I think when it comes down to it, it's like it'll probably be technically a little bit more of a user-friendly experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel it'll be. I mean, it's that game is a relic at this point. Link's Awakening, the original. It's still very much playable. It's probably the.
It's actually, I think it holds up pretty well. But then every once in a while, I see someone who's like very mad at it because there's only 2 item buttons, and I have to pause every time just to like use my sword because I unequipped it, or stuff like that I don't think about because it's just the game it is to me. But
right, yeah,
but it's not like glaring flaws, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think it's still, it might be the most unplayable of the playable games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like, sure. Maybe it's no Zelda 2 as far as unplayability for some new people, is what I'm saying.
It definitely has aged. I think it's still playable. But yeah, maybe this is just that. Maybe, I wonder if people years from now, when they say, "Oh, I love Link's Awakening, it's one of my favorite games," is the follow-up question immediately going to be, are you referring to the Game Boy Color version or the Nintendo Switch version? I wonder if that's even going to be a question.
Right.
Because like, I think most people now, if somebody said, "What's your favorite Zelda game?" and they say Wind Waker, nobody needs to clarify what console they're referring to. Because one, they're probably referring to just the game as itself. But the differences are not quite, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But this just feels, because there's like, this is a total generational gap here. I mean, it's what, 93 to 19. Most people who are going to play this for the first time, or who are going to play this, weren't born when it came out.
I guess I'm just not hung up on this. Like, I don't think of like which is the definitive version to play for a lot of these games. There's some that it's obviously true to me, but it's not something I consciously think about, I guess. Is there a game you can even compare this to, I guess?
I don't know. I was like trying to think of, I mean, more recently we got Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, but that changed so many gameplay things.
It did. I wonder, though, is anybody going to ever go back and play Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
Probably, because it's
a different experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, I think that's the case, even if it's like an obviously marked improvement, like there are always going to be people who like value like what was that original experience, right? Like
do you feel people think that way about Twilight Princess on the Wii compared to the HD version?
Yeah, because it has motion controls. I
suppose,
weird world.
Maybe the GameCube version instead of the HD version.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, only time will tell, and it also depends on what the final product is. Long story is, I'm really excited about this. I love it, but I'm not sure if this is what I wanted.
You're just having like a existential crisis.
Yeah. About
how you're gonna.
I've been debating. I'm like, do we call this Link's Awakening? Does this stuff go on the website? We have the bar. Do I make Link's Awakening 2019 and Link's Awakening 93? Like, well, these are some serious first world problems, and I don't know how to handle them.
I've been trying to like almost wrap my head around.
Do I keep the old guide? Do I have, this is the retro guide and this is the new guide? And
yeah.
These are the problems of running Zelda Dungeon here.
So this is truly an unprecedented moment in gaming history. We don't know how we feel about it, but you should let us know how we should feel. Also, be sure to leave us a comment. We're gonna, obviously, there's so much more to touch on about this game, I feel like, even though it's been like a 90-second clip. Like, there's so much to talk about. So leave us a comment. What are you thinking about this game? We're gonna keep doing videos. Come join our Discord and chat with us, which will be down below. Give us a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.